beginning.
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, bro, everything behind Emmanuel Macron was a complete fabrication at a certain point. Even the man's like, intelligence and finance was a complete like facade. Well set up facade, I'll tell you, but it was all facade.
Make this request after they realized that sending legal letters wasn't the best idea. So, what else is it that I've potentially uncovered about France? How does this relate to the United States? I'm going to tell you in just a second. First, going to throw it to some of our sponsors. Let's speak about preborn, because June 24th marks 3 years since Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the hard truth is that abortion has not gone. All right, you guys. Here's where I'm going to pull it all together for you. Because we all know, here's the reality. The greatest trick the devil ever played was making the world believe that he didn't exist. Okay. And I have this thing, call it my toxic trait. When the media takes me out of context and then just tells these sort of unbelievable lies about me and my perspectives, I never get discouraged. I just get interested. That's my toxic trait. I get like, you can try to offend me, but I just get interested, especially when they're just being way too over the top, you know, like Holocaust tonight, whatever it is. If you're just being way too crazy, like self-hating Black woman, I'm like, what are you hiding? Like, you're obviously hiding something because you're way too triggered by what is likely, and listeners to the show.
Now, to be honest, though, like whenever I say something and I catch the most ad hominems, that make me look into it deeper. Because, yeah, you're trying to hide something. Like, you're literally trying to shame me out of looking in a certain direction. And I mean, yeah, like the more you guys throw names at it, it's like, all right, you must be pretty insecure about your position, or there's something that you don't want me to see, or you just want to tell me or you just want to tell me what to do.
What is your motivation?
Yep, exactly. But now we all heard her in full context, and I want to see if, PBD actually heard them the same way I did.
My breath to comprehend that 4 days ago, I'm ending a series about Brigitte Macron, and now I'm speaking to the President of the United States, and the topic of conversation, no matter which way you want to slice it, is about Macron's wife's penis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Anyways, I have Macron. I like Macron. We're speaking at the White House, and I'm walking him to his car. And, you know, he says to me, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a second? I say, of course you can speak to me about anything. What's going on?
And shout out Daniel Castro, because you're not lying. He said, we judge our wins by the way the liberals freak. I mean, true. Ain't that the truth? It's like, bro, the way y'all freak out, I mean, that lets me know, it's even better. It's even better. It was like the whole attorney general thing. Like when Matt Gaetz was supposed to be in there, oh my God, the liberals were literally losing their shit. I mean, it didn't make no sense. And then when when he stepped down and Pam Bondi came up, they chilled out. They didn't even see her as a threat. I was mad. I was like, okay, nah, y'all ain't mad enough. I don't even like her like that. And then what do you know? She's the one that's not really performing as well as we like her to.
Macron wants to have a little sidebar. And then Macron says to him, Mr. President, do you know Candace Owens? And I say, yes, of course I know Candace Owens. What's going on? And then he continues his narrative and he tells me that Emmanuel Macron is requesting to his face that I stop speaking about his wife. And one of the things Trump said is like, he tells me, she's old and this is really, really impacting her. And then he said, I saw her, Candace, I saw her up close and she looks like a woman to me. She looks like a woman to me. I had dinner with her at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And I explained to him that she has had this amazing doctor who specializes in transgenderism surgeries or feminization procedures.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go through that entire series. I am, because bro, the stuff that she was dropping, guys, was absolutely wild. Like, it gets deeper than what she's telling you is surface level. Like, you actually see a series, it gets so deep. And the fact that these guys have not refuted any of it, oh man, it makes it 10 times scarier. It's like, oh wow, like what? Bro, the stuff she's saying about Brigitte Macron and Emmanuel Macron right now, I mean, is downright defamation. And here's the thing, if Candace was lying or she was wrong, then she'd be getting sued by now. She'd be getting sued. And they can't even sue her. They can't, because it's the truth.
Getting sued like NBC.
Exactly. Like they said Trump was liable for grape. He wasn't. So that's defamation. You get sued. Candace is calling this woman basically a man and an incestual man.
Did he win like 25 million, $35 million?
Yeah, like 15.
15? All
Yep,
right.
15 mil. Now, I'm surprised they didn't fire the guy who said it. But all right, let's go.
Trump called her to say Macron is asking to pump the brakes because we're trying to do deals. And hey, Candace, can you give Candace a call? Your thoughts on this
Listen,
call?
with all due respect, and I absolutely love Candace, but you don't go talking about a private call from the president of the United States. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's freaking Ronald Reagan's ghost. Okay, that's just not loose lips. It's just weak character. Like if you're leaking conversations or clicks or whatever, like it's not. You can't trust someone who's willing to expose stuff.
I don't know though, but the thing is, Candace came out with this like 2 days ago, and this was all went down in February. So we can't sit here and pretend like she just immediately opened her mouth and ruined everything, and everything played out. And you know what? We're still at war, and it didn't even work. It didn't even work. So Candace basically shut the fuck up for no reason. So honestly, she had every right to speak, in my opinion, and to let us know about this.
She's been pissed. I mean, they literally gave her death threats when she was pregnant. Can you imagine giving a pregnant woman a death threat?
Which is wild. But I mean, and here's the thing though, all Candace did was just hone in on Israel. I mean, let's be real. That's all she did. Ever since Candace honed in on Israel, it has been a new type of like hatred for Candace and Tucker Carlson, really. Like they see them as interventionists and all that wild stuff. And it's kind of crazy because, like, MAGA, we were pretty much running on the whole no war thing. Now that when it comes up and we were actually asking for no wars, everybody's like, switching up, choosing sides all of a sudden. It's kind of funny. But I don't know. I get it.
Yeah, well,
like that. Like she,
yeah.
Takes Donald Trump to make Democrats hate electric cars.
Man, I think that's
and I don't know. It's not a good look because, like, for instance, do you think anybody's gonna ever have a conversation just with whatever it is with Candace with that information coming out? Do you honestly think? Would you trust?
First of all, let me ask this question: Do you believe that phone call happened? I think she said Rob. What was the exact date? She said sometime in February. So you're talking about 30 days after inauguration, January 20th. I think she says the phone call happened third week of February. The question is, do you believe the call happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
So you believe the phone?
I mean, why would she lie? Like, let's be quite honest. Like, Candace don't need to lie. She got enough stories backed up. She got enough information. Like, she don't need to lie. So anybody doubting her on that one, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. You just like to hate Candace. But trust me, she ain't lying about that phone call. And I can see why. Because, bro, you guys actually would have to see the whole Brigitte Macron, like, series to understand why Emmanuel Macron low-key's asking her to shut the hell up. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Because she didn't just attack his wife. She attacked that man as well and brought up some crazy facts. Like, I damn near want to play it tonight, but we're almost out of time.
Call happened that President Trump called.
My opinion, yes.
Okay, you believe that?
It's
Okay,
too easy to deny, right? It's like we never talked to her.
Adam, you believe that the phone call happened?
I do. Do you want me to my feedback?
But the second thing is there anything wrong with her publicly sharing a phone call? That, I guess the second question is, do you think she asked permission from the Trump to publicly talk about the phone call?
No.
Hell no.
Then do you think it's appropriate for her to publicly talk about?
Not
that
at all.
becomes a question. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, it depends on what the phone call basically encompassed, if he said, keep this between us or not. But Candace has an opportunity to basically make friends with Trump or make enemies with Trump. If Elon Musk is an enemy of Trump at this point, you better believe Candace might be in her sights. Now, what you don't see in that clip is the reason that Emmanuel Macron asked that of Trump was because basically it was, we've heard the quid pro quo thing before.
What?
He said, listen, if you want my help in ending the Russia-Ukraine.
Bro, I didn't. Oh, that was you? Well, I mean, bro, that probably wasn't the best way to go at it. And I didn't suppress, bro. Parabolic, you've been here for a while. You've been talking stuff for a while. You never really get offensive. So I did not do that. Trust me, dog. I would have told you if I was the one to kick you or ban you. Trust me. So I don't know who did, but I mean, when you came in suppressed by S.E.T, I didn't know that was you. You probably should have just been real, because I thought you were somebody else that was probably being a smart ass. You know, which people I kick a day? I probably ban like 10 people a day, G. Who knows?
war, I need a favor from you. Have
But I did not ban you, though. Definitely did not ban you for sure.
Candace, who has made it her life's work of dismantling my wife's, husband, whatever body parts. If you really want me to go all in and help save literally millions of lives, do me a favor and make a call to her and see if she can just chill out. Because no matter who you are, no matter what you do, we all have emotions. We all have feelings. Everything's interpersonal relationships. We just talked about how Trump.
I wasn't the one who look, guys, I promise you, I was not the one who mute that man. That's why I'm just confused here. Like, huh? Like, I don't even know how I could unmute you if I wasn't the one.
And Musk fell out because of personal relationship. Do you believe that Macron maybe said something to Trump about, hey, this woman has made her life's work about my wife being a man or not? I totally believe that happened. So, but I also, if Trump never told her, don't say anything, I'm actually understanding why Candace would say this. I'll say one last thing. Making a documentary about Emmanuel Macron's wife or ending the Ukraine-Russia war, to me, it's not even a conversation. You end the war. But Candace in another clip said this. She said, I didn't know what to do. So do you know who she said she called? She said she called Tucker, who she doesn't really speak with, but she got his advice, free speech advice. She said at the time, I was pregnant with my 4th child, I believe. I was emotional and I tend to be hot-headed. Wink, wink. I do believe that she's been infected by the IDS.
I mean, all right, Vinny, that's kind of effed up because he's pretty much talking about her pregnancy and how she was over emotional. That doesn't have anything to do with her mental state. And she was being honest about that. So I wouldn't use that as a ding against her, to be honest. But hey, like Vinny don't like her because, well, you know, Vinny's Israeli. He's Jewish. So Vinny's kind of hated Candace since this whole, well, Candace like honestly started bashing Israel. Yeah, maybe, Mom.
So I mean, what pregnant woman should you ever threaten? That's where I'm stuck.
Yeah, me too. But honestly, though, yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with Candace's mental condition, and I don't even know why he's bringing it up because, well, I do know. And here's the thing: if we're gonna start judging Candace because she says something about Israel or she's anti-war and she's anti-intervention, she's standing on it, then I don't know, that's a bit weird in my eyes. So what? We're all gonna start turning against Candace because she wanted to be outspoken? Like, I thought we were the party of being outspoken. I thought we weren't the echo chamber, but apparently we were the echo chamber when it came to war. I mean, let's be honest here.
Israel derangement syndrome, but I don't totally understand why she's putting that out there for clips, for views. I get that, but hopefully this will lead to ending the Russia-Ukraine war, and we can refocus the conversation not on Emmanuel Macron's wife's body parts.
I don't think she said that she's changing her position. The fact that she's talking about this, that's bringing it back up. So I don't think this is going to put an end to any of it. It is back surface that people are talking. We haven't talked about this. And by the way, you want to know what's crazy? I actually think she's right about Macron.
Me too.
I actually think that and I'm not even taking a position that I think that was one of the better jobs of investigation work that's happened the last couple of years. And I think
Candace damn near convinced the world. Like, if you watch that and you're tired of hating on Candace, because that's really what it is. A lot of y'all just hating on Candace. Like, you just literally hating on her lifestyle and the fact that you kind of can't achieve anything she's done. I mean, think about it. She has a podcast, makes millions of dollars. She has a multi-million-dollar husband, and a lot of women hate her because they can't do the same. And she's proof that you could low-key get off of what you want because she does her podcast in her basement, take care of her kids. I'm like, I see why women hate you. I see why the leftist women hate you too. The guys hate you because you're anti-war, but the women hate you because you got what they don't.
Well, remember, we were at a UFC fight. The first time she was reading it and she's telling us about it backstage. But the challenge becomes that phone call. And Adam, to add to what you just said right there, I don't think this gets her closer to Elon because she's also been very critical of Elon and Trump. So I don't think it's going to be all of a sudden getting there. Tom, your thoughts on this position here?
Oh, so yeah, my bad. I did call this man. Did I call this man Vinny hella times? Or did I say Adam? I'm talking about the Jewish, our Jewish guy, our Jewish friend right here. Going back to, well, if I called him Vinny, nah, the Jewish guy's actually name is Adam Sosnick.
For one, I have a couple thoughts. Man, if the president of the United States calls you and he's speaking about that, I don't think you talk about it on the air unless you had some sort of a framework agreement, right? And say, well, Mr. President, I appreciate the call and everything.
I mean, Sabrina, that's hating. You're hating. She has kids, but no. Actually, she chooses her kids over her job. To be quite honest with you, like, think about it. She does an hour podcast and then goes spends the rest of her day with her kids. An hour podcast and you got the whole day with your kids. Like I'm saying, man, it's like, I don't know, bro. Hey, y'all left this women. Y'all might want to sit this one down because then it just sounds like y'all hating.
Thing, I'm very public and I'm very out there talking about many things. If I was to mention this, I would prefer you didn't. You can do what you want, Candace, but I would prefer you didn't. I think you ask about that. We've had all kinds of celebrities and all kinds of heavy hitting major political people that have said things behind the scenes. Would we have liked, or would you have liked to gone out and say things, hey folks, in the insurance industry, the following might help us out? Yeah, but we respect what's called confidence.
I mean, oh man, Cuban. You know what? I do feel the same though. I do feel like her personality and her husband's personality is like very different. Like you could tell she's the more outgoing one, or I mean, if you can damn near tell she's probably might wear the pants in the relationship. But I mean, hey, still multimillionaire, right? So you can't even ding the husband, even if you damn near want to call him a beta male.
And I just don't think with a sitting precedent, unless you've got a conversation there and an understanding that you say anything. Now then, I think she's right about Macron's wife, and she's not the only one, but her investigative reporting was quite good and quite deep and quite, backed up. But okay. I have a final little point here, and it's about Macron. If Macron said to the president of the United States, I am not going to weigh in and help out with a major humanitarian crisis in a foreign country until gossip stops about my wife.
Why not? Well, what'd she lie about? You said she lied plenty of times, but I've not heard one lie. Like, you might have to start naming some. Or like I said, Sabrina, it just sounds like you're hating. And the reason why I say you're hating is just because, I mean, you're saying she lying. You ain't named nothing. Shitting on women. She's probably like the best example for women. So if you feel like she's shitting on women, then you're kind of just hating on her. And you feel like she's shitting on you.
Then you are one of the shallowest people to walk the halls of leadership at the country level. That just absolutely.
Honestly, that's like me saying like Andrew Tate shitting on men because he's out here with Bugattis and money and women. He's just shitting on the average guy. Or he's trying to motivate you. And, he's kind of what most guys want to be. Okay, maybe without the whole bunch of women, but the money and the influence is nice. So it's like I said, it's kind of like that. Is this like you're hating and you feel like they're shitting on you because, well, you were hating. It's okay. It's okay. Let go of the hate, sis. She's one of you. And I don't know why I'm assuming that you're a black woman, but I don't know. Maybe it's the way you talk.
Greets me on that point.
That's a good point. Vinny, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, just I want to get in there because Adam, you said something like, does he have to say, or like, should there have been like a, hey, can I? No, that there's an unwritten rule. You don't have to say, keep this between us. It's a personal phone call between me and you. I shouldn't have to even think about you going on air. The conversations that we have, that you have with him, that you have with that, did you ever be like, hey, don't ever talk about this? No.
I mean, Vinny, I'd have to look at this man like, Vinny, bro, come on. First off, you're telling she has like one of the biggest platforms in the world. And no offense to girls, but she's a woman. She likes to talk. You only think she won't say something? Bro, she told something to Tucker Carlson in confidence. She already broke code already. If that was the standard, if that's the standard, she already broke it. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't fault her because she low-key waited all the way out to July. This happened in February, and we're hearing about it in July. So I give her the kudos on that one. I'm like, not like she just came out March and was like, oh yeah, this is what's going on, and just completely ruined it. Like, the deal tanked anyway. The Ukraine war is still going anyway. So obviously it didn't work out, and her not saying shit didn't even work. So I would have talked too, especially if what I did didn't work.
you should know. You keep your mouth
No,
shut.
not how it
Especially the
works.
president, Adam, of the United States. There's a trust. And once that trust is gone, I don't think anybody would ever talk to her on any type of level. Like, hey, listen, just do me a favor. And listen, I love Candace to death. By the way, great reporting. She revealed the president of freaking France's husband, wife, whatever, at least at the bare minimum.
I like Candace because I just think she's a great example for women to be 100% with you. She's damn near like the Andrew Tate of women. Like everything women want secretly, she got. Like everything women want secretly, she got. Or really everything women say they want up front, she got.
Was in some pedophilia shit because you met him when he was 14 or 12 or whatever. But when it comes
Allegedly, with
to
these stories
allegedly,
that are
all
being-
allegedly,
yeah.
all
Mhm.
allegedly, but there shouldn't be a question, Pat, of
Right.
should he have said something? Should she have asked? No.
No,
The
Vinny,
president of the United States
Vinny.
isn't asking. How about this? You should know whatever I talk to you. Mind you, when the person calls you, hey, this is a call from the president of the United States. That's it. That's the
And actually, guys, you want to know something actually hilarious? You know, people in my community say that said you don't defend black women enough. And then when I defend Candace Owens, that's the wrong black woman set, not that one. I'm like, bro.
cosign
Okay,
unwritten
I
rule.
got you.
Yeah, but
Adam, your
you can-
thoughts.
Vinny, I hear you, but you have to understand your audience, understand the person you're making. Trump isn't making a phone call to some random person, some person with information, a business contact. He's making a phone call to one of the most popular podcasters in the world, whose job it is to yap and talk shit. You say, don't say this to your audience. And you say that up front. That's like when you're saying, giving a quote to a newspaper or the New York Times, the Washington Post, you'll say this is from an undisclosed source.
Yeah.
You'll say that.
Or
So,
I'll talk to
in
you
my
on
opinion-
background.
Exactly. You'd say, listen, Candace, I know that you have a big platform. Do not mention this, but here's what I need from you. And listen, if the Trump is basically saying, hey, as much as shallow it is about Macron basically trying to defend his wife, people have emotions, people have feelings. If it's a matter of saving lives and ending of war, you do what you're told. Because to me, this whole thing that we talk about signal versus noise is whether Bridget Macron has a penis or not. Signal is ending a freaking war. It's not even close, in my opinion.
Yeah, but no, Adam, I agree. I agree 100%.
Okay.
And here's the thing: where's the kudos on her shutting the fuck up for like 4 or 5 months and then telling us, and then still haven't dropped? Because she said she had way more before she ended the series abruptly. Because I was waiting on the next one, and then she just said, "All right, we're gonna take a break from it." And now she explained why. So I'm like, hold on, where's the kudos on her actually following through and being like, "Yeah, I waited, but now I'm gonna talk."
Okay, so we'll just end it right there.
No,
well, let me ask this. Let me ask this other question. So on this one here, we went. Okay, so maybe the last question. Trump making the phone call. Do you think Trump made the right decision calling, or should Trump have told Macron, bro, that's your business? What, you want me to call Candace to tell her
Explain.
to stop talking about you? That's embarrassing request you're making. The request means it's right. So do you think the president should have made the call, or do you think the president making the call knew that there's a possibility that Candace is going to talk about this publicly? You remember when we did the podcast, something happened in the middle of the podcast with the president. He said,
yeah.
Okay. So do you think the president knew she may talk about this publicly?
Yes.
I think in that moment, Pat, because he's like we talked about, he's such a deal maker. Adam, you said this. He just wants to make deals. I don't think in that moment he's going, "Oh shit, is she gonna?"
Okay.
Because you should have, and because there's a book. Pat, this is in regard to her too. There's a book that a guy wrote. You guys might have read this. It's called "Choose Your Enemies Wisely."
Yeah.
She is choosing Adam. Elon's a whole different ball of wax. This is the worst enemy to make. Is the president of the United States, who's not only going to be in for 4 years, whoever's going to come in after him is going to be in there for hopefully, God willing, for a bunch of other years.
And let's be real. I'm like, one of the reasons why we love Trump, and I'm gonna be real, it's a love and hate relationship with just one quality of Trump. The man's petty. He's downright petty, and I love it sometimes. But let's be real, it do put people on edge. Like, that's the problem, though. If you get on his bad side, he's petty enough to make sure you pay for it, even if it's something small.
Nobody's going to trust him.
I mean, bro, we're talking about the same man that called Grant Cardone, or no, was it Grant Cardone or Mark Cuban? One of those two. But one of those two he called about their unsuccessful show and pretty much like wrote him a letter, my bad, and pretty much said, yeah, I'm sorry that your show sucked for so long. Hey, man, if you're in your show like mine's The Apprentice, you done went pretty well. But sadly, your show wasn't all that. That's why we only got 2 seasons. And he wrote that man that letter. I mean, how freaking petty can you be? But it was freaking hilarious.
They're not
Yeah, I
going to
don't
trust
think
her
I don't
to
think
have
she
any
cares.
conversations. She doesn't have
You
to
don't
care.
think she
She's
cares?
All
right.
right, Cuban.
Okay. So Rob, there was
Okay, so it was Mark Cuban. Okay.
another clip that you had. The one, here's one with Pierce, right? Where she's talking about, go ahead and play this clip. This is about Israel, Iran, complete different position. Go ahead, Rob.
Under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 19, dishonorable discharge can result in forfeiture of all pay and allowances up to 5 years confinement, which is a pretty heavy penalty to pay.
Yeah, I want my kids to go to jail before they fought for Israel. I'll say that honestly.
Okay.
I would. I have 3 sons, and I'm going to be honest with you, Pierce. I'm glad you told me that consequence. I'd take that consequence any day to them being sent back over in a coffin because they died for Israel. So.
Okay, but yeah, I think the one thing
My
you're missing,
opinion.
look, I come from a big military family, a lot of military in my family, and a lot of people fighting wars on behalf of the United States are not doing it because they think Bibi Netanyahu wants them to. They're doing it because
No, they're doing it because they believe that they're fighting for the United States. The problem is that once they get into the military, the United States pretty much dictates what they fight for at that point, or the government. And sometimes, they catch themselves fighting, not for America, but for another country. And, sometimes it just so happens to be Israel.
Some of them do that, and they write into my show and I answer the question.
But many of them won't, and they might be offended by you suggesting that's the only reason they're doing it.
And they can watch your show, and they can be offended all they want, but I think it's more offensive the way that our military is treated, the veterans are treated, and the gaslighting that takes place when we're told that we have to defend everybody's borders. But
I actually think America treats its veterans better than almost any country in the world.
I mean, this has always been an open conversation, and I'm just saying that if my boys were being drafted to fight this war in Iran, I would be like, you know what, honey, take the other option. And that's not because it's cowardice. It's because when you sign up for the military,
okay, but I would say that the pilots,
you are pledging that you are doing something that is going to better your country.
Candace,
and like I said, our country has been in steep decline since we have been part of this foreign policy, which is just whatever Israel wants.
Okay, you made that point, but what
By the way, shout out to Pierce, who just crossed 4 million. And shout out to Candace for being on Pierce.
4
million. Having a conversation. Do you agree with her position?
Yeah, both they chose at 4 million. Shout out Pierce.
On the 3 sons, I wouldn't want him to join the military today to fight for Israel.
As a veteran, as an angry patriot, she has the right to say that. And, because mind you, I backed up and I said, what do you mean by I would much rather have my sons go to prison than have them fight for Israel? No, unless there is a draft, unless there's a war where we don't have any soldiers. Well, thank God to Pete Hegseth and what he's doing, that the numbers are going up and we're going to be okay. I don't like Israel getting dragged into something just to make a point, because nobody's dying for Israel when they signed the oath. When we signed the oath, we signed up to do what, Pat? To the Constitution, to serve America. Okay. But the freedoms, what Candace is not alluding to, like you get to be who you are, was brought to you by the people.
All right, come on now, y'all being disingenuous about that. It's like, first off, Candace does not judge women for working and then trying to take care of their kids. She doesn't judge women for that. She's pointing out the fact that when women spend less time with their kids because they're out working, it has a negative effect on children. That's the argument. She don't shame you. She's not getting mad at you. I'm not even getting mad at you. We're just telling you the reality of what it is. That's it. And if that makes you feel bad, then, I mean, bro, that's like me calling out the fat statistic and then people feel like, 70% of men is fat. If all the guys in here got mad over that, I mean, that's on them. It's like nobody's shaming you. You just feel ashamed of the statistic.
Who did what she says she never let her own kids do. So you understand? Like, she gets to say what she wants to say because people like us signed up and defended this country, so you could say and do whatever you want. She has the right to do it. I'm not a huge fan of it because nobody's dying for Israel. I signed up to fight at any cost and protect any cost the United States of America.
What percentage of people you think joined the military to fight wars for Israel? What percentage of Americans joined the military to fight for Israel? What would you say?
0%.
No, I mean, hold on. If this percentage of Jewish people in the military that signed up to do that,
I don't know if I met a single Jew in the military. I literally don't know if I've met a single Jew in the military.
That's a very good point. I don't think I
Did you ever meet a Jew in the military?
No.
I don't know if Jews join the military.
I'm going to be honest with you.
They do.
Great. I've never even
No.
No, I've never met a Jew.
IDF. I don't know if I met one
American soldier.
I don't know if I met one. So we got 1.3 million active duty personnel, 8 to 10,000 Jewish service members. Do the percentage on it, on how it matches with the population. That translates to what? Less than 1%, 0.6 to 0.8% of military population.
Yeah, they're definitely like, I ain't gonna lie, they're mischaracterizing the argument because she's pretty much saying that, look, we all know that the people who sign up for the military do it to defend the US. But it just so happens that they'll end up in wars that it's not really about defending the US, but it's about protecting the interests of certain peoples, certain nations, certain companies. You feel me? So we get that. It's just funny how they're trying to mischaracterize her argument as if that's not what she meant.
What percentage of the U.S. population is the Jewish community? Okay, so got it. So they're 2% of the U.S. population. So nearly a third of whatever the U.S. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not a lot of Jews. I don't know if I ever met a single Jew.
I'm telling you, I didn't. I was in for.
I don't know if people joined to fight Israel. Adam, your thoughts on this, on the comments here about the three boys, three sons?
No, I mean, let's just, you join the American military to fight for America, period, full stop. It's such a stupid premise to think that anybody is joining the military to fight for Israel.
You're right. It is a stupid premise. But guess what? That wasn't her premise.
It just shows how deranged her Israel derangement syndrome has seeped in.
All right, all right, come on, PBD. This is disingenuous. Come on, Adam. You know, like the whole podcast, because I think they all went off on her, I believe. Like, this is completely disingenuous. It's like, she didn't say that. We all know what she meant, and we all know that, no, there's no guy going into the military talking about the U.S. military talking about trying to fight for Israel. Like, it's insane to even say that. It is a stupid point. But that's not Candace's point. We all know it. The problem is these guys go in wanting to protect America and fight for America, but they're fighting for something else. But is being framed as this is for America. And then 5-10 years down the line, after losing a limb, their mental sanity and all that, they find out that that was a lie. And they weren't fighting for America. They were fighting for poppy fields. I mean, well, you know what? Freaking name your favorite war that was a lie at that point.
Because here's the reality. Everything she talked about, none of it came to fruition. Can we acknowledge that? Is that she's saying, de-enlist from the military. What's it called? Dishonorable discharge. I want you to do this. You're not going to die for Israel. Yeah, 0 boots are on the ground, Candace. Zero, not one. By the way, the hypothetical war against Iran, where 0 boots were on the ground, and we just dropped some bunker bombs, 0 boots. But by the way, when they're fighting Hezbollah and they're fighting Hamas and they're fighting the Houthis and they're fighting radical jihadists all around the region, 0 boots on the ground. So to me, it's such a stupid premise. And
I mean, yeah, they do have the most advanced military in the region. They don't need no boots. They got all the fighter jets and missiles you can want. And they also have bunker busters as well. They actually use it on Hezbollah.
Starter.
Like not too long ago, maybe like last week.
That it's just complete fear porn, and all you Gen Z idiots are falling for it. And then I said this on the last podcast. Donald Trump dismantled George W. Bush and Jeb Bush. Please clap.
I mean, Baron, I am not even gonna lie. I was thinking about that too. I was like, Israel derangement syndrome. So what? Or is that what we're gonna now here? When we say Trump derangement syndrome, it's okay to disagree with Trump. But when you're outright calling this man, oh, he's a pedophile, he's the devil, he's actually the Antichrist, that's Trump derangement syndrome. Disagreeing with Trump, that's not Trump derangement syndrome. That's just you have a disagreement with the man. Now Israel derangement syndrome is that Israel's responsible for everything. They cause all the conflicts. Everything is them. They run America in their seat. Well, actually, you know what? There actually might be some truth to what I'm saying. So I'm not even sure if it's Israel derangement syndrome or they're just trying to hide or they're just trying to take criticism away from Israel. And they'll just throw a label like the ID. What was it? The IDS, the Israel derangement syndrome match you to get you to shut the hell up or to make it seem like you're crazy. And let's be real. When we applied that TDS to people, we did it accurately. But the Israel derangement syndrome, I mean, come on now, that's just weak. It's weak. I will be real, I do hate that he used it like that.
What makes you think that Donald Trump, the person who campaigned on not having stupid endless wars, was going to get into a quagmire in the Middle East of stupid endless wars? How uninformed and misinformed are you? Or do you have an agenda? I don't know. Is fear porn your business model? I don't know. Because have any American troops been on the ground? You talk about what percentage of Jews join the American military. I know 100% of Israelis join the IDF. I know that. But zero boots on the ground, yet you're selling the fear porn that we're all going to die for Israel. It's such a stupid premise. And it just shows where Candace is at. And I actually like Candace. Like anytime I've hung out with Candace, I actually think she's a cool person. I just think she's genuinely been infected with this very, very sickening disease.
I would ask him to explain that. Like, all right, so what is a Israel derangement syndrome? Please explain. Because like I just explained Trump derangement syndrome, and that's when people go to the extreme with Trump's character. Now, what is Israel derangement syndrome? Because like now, if you're saying that the Jews run everything, well, I mean, maybe that's Jewish derangement syndrome. But Israel derangement syndrome, what is it? Calling out the facts of what Israel be doing is like calling out the facts of all the war crimes and the facts of all the ceasefire that they've broken and all of a sudden attacks that they've done on the Lebanon, Syria, and all the people around them. Like, I mean, was that Israel derangement syndrome? Just talking about the facts
that's been going on for 10,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
only it was in reverse 10,000 years ago. So they're the same. Basically, the ideals are the same. They're actually genetically the same group of people, but they've just been conquering each other back and forth over 10,000 years.
Yeah, I did hear that they did like they actually did like a DNA test of like, the ancient ruins of Judea and the bodies that was under there, and they matched it to the Palestinians, and they seen that the Palestinians was actually more related to those people of that time than the Jews that are there, than the Israelis that are there now.
There was a people called the Philistines, which were older.
Ah,
Makes sense. All right. Hey, man, thanks for filling that one in.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't serve in the military, but I've known many, many, many people, including the patriots and the heroes that are sitting at this table, who have. And it's very interesting in Los Angeles, to Adam's point, I had not one, not two, but three classmates that I remember at Pepperdine when I was getting my master's were either going in after or had been American citizens and went and served 2 years in the IDF. Be out of family heritage, and they're, I am an American, but I'm going to go serve my 2 years in the IDF. But everyone that was in the U.S. military, you always ask them, where did you go? Oh, I was in Grenada. Oh, it's many, many years ago, but I was stationed here. I was in the Philippines for this long. We have a very tremendously good friend and business colleague from the Philippines that served in the U.S. Marine Corps and went many places. So anyone that serves in the U.S. military, you go somewhere in the U.S. military and you defend and serve. So which mom is going to pick?
But all right, now, guys, let's get to the more controversial side of today's live, because it's about to get real, guys. It's about to get real. You know what? I mean, I wonder if I should play this song, because, I'm going to play two songs. I'm going to play two songs that are highly offensive. And you know what? If you unsubscribe because I play these two songs, you know what? I actually understand. I completely get